hopefully this is working this time. Let me get chat open. All good now? Good stuff. You couldn't do me a favour then and nip into several discords and share it, the new link, Shaw? Please. So, cheers, bud. The welcome to Purbeck 22, guys. I had a issue with OBS and today's patch update not connecting to my window. I had to go in and redo administration rights for OBS, and now we're working. So, for those that don't know, Purbeck 22 dropped yesterday on ModHub. Been waiting for this one for a while. Really enjoyed Purbeck on 19 and had a play about on the beta there for a while. That was available on King Mods. And now, thankfully, MS Modding has done a lot of work to the map to get it released on ModHub, and so it's available on both PC and console. He's done a good job of it. Now there is a few issues currently with it that we found out yesterday that have been fixed, and the update is currently with Giants, so it's in their hands for it to come out. First of all, on multiplayer for servers, it's currently not working. It kicks you out when you try to do it. That has been fixed. And on start from scratch and farm manager mode, the horse and pig enclosures disappeared. That's also been fixed in the patch, so hopefully Giants drop that very soon. So I'll have a quick look at the PDA side, and I have it open here. So quite a decent sized map, with sort of one main big road through the bottom there, and you have the shop and a few bits and pieces down here. The BGA, we'll go around those, we'll have a look at those. There is 8A1 fields, I believe, 2 forestry areas, one in the top right, one in the bottom left. Hey DF, thanks. Yep, no, it's figured it out. Just needed after the update to give administrative rights to OBS, or a learning curve. So yeah, I think there's 82 fields, I think it is. So we are in New Farmer to show off the map. So you start with quite a bit of ground. No, you don't start with that. What you start with the BGA, you start with this block here, 7 and 10, and you start with a block down at the arable farm. I think it's block 17. Now I just bought the whole map so that everything shows up on all the animals and things all show up. So you start off at the dairy farm. So you have the British Farmhouse mod by MS Modding that you need to install with the map. It can be sold and you can replace it, etc. We shall just enable fly mode so I can fly up in the air, so you can have a nice small yard, very British styled, cluttered. So there you have the dairy sheds in here. So I currently have Maze Plus on this, and the animal grazing mod to show that it works. So we have water. There's a water trigger here. I've seen a few folks saying they can't find it. It's roughly about right there. On that, if you reverse in with the water tanker there, you can fill up the water. As you can see, I haven't done it. The little food in the trough now, that comes from the grazing mod, which is only available on PC, unfortunately. But as you can see, if I jump up in the air, we have some cows grazing in the paddock, and you can see the clear line. Well, it's not very clear, but it will be the next growth stage to eat there. Sort of big square that they graze their grass out of. Now it also works in the sheep, and I don't know if I haven't actually looked to see if it works for the horses or anything. Hey Scotty. And that's that. Now there is also another cow pasture over here, which I have put some Angus cattle in, and again you can see there is a small grazing area in this field for those. So good for roleplay if you want to work a dairy, putting it in and out, take your animals in, take their animals across here, or as I was planning to do, is have a dairy herd over there and a beef herd over here and use a modded butcher production. So we will go back to the main farm and we'll have a look at the starting equipment that you start with. So you start with a Massey Ferguson base game Alpine with the quickie loader. You have a pickup truck, diesel tank there obviously. You start with the Topliner combine, the class trailer, you have a steyr, a seeder. You have basically everything you need. Some are here and some are down at the other yard that you start with on New Farmer. I think there is the baler, the tedder and the windrowers down there. Everything else is up here at the main farm. I think you get 100 dairy cows in the shed, and I think it's 150 in the paddock, in the pasture. You have a slurry pit here, the silo. Now that you can delete that in the construction menu, but it doesn't actually remove the silo, it just removes the triggers, so you can't use it, unfortunately. There is a shed there, the cattle shed. There's your milk point. The point in the middle is your manure fill point. And then we come around the side and you have two big bunkers and a bit more storage. There's the moor. And some of these hills are steeper than they look. So you start with this field. Now there is no collisions on the telegraph poles in the field. There's no collisions on the hedges, so you can drive through those, but there is collisions on the telegraph poles out of the field. So if you're using courseplay or AI workers, obviously helps. Yep, I do agree, DF, it is a cracking looking map, really liked it. So as we go along the road, right, let's get my running shoes on. where you come across to farm 2 or yard 2. So a few houses dotted about and bits and pieces, and then you have your chicken enclosure, which you can have 30 chickens. Pretty self-explanatory. Egg spawn point, feed point, looks good. Then you come round into the sheep farm. Again, you have a bunker, some nice storage sheds, your wool spawn point, and there you can see we have the grazing areas for the sheep. So you have 3 decent sized grazing areas in there to feed the sheep. As you can see, I have plenty of sheep in there. I don't remember how many you can hold if we come down to the trigger. You can hold up to 200, so as you can see I've got 120 in there, and if I go in here, they have 10,000 litres of food. The health is 0 because I haven't given them water or anything, but it was more just so that you could see the grazing working. Yeah, that's right, you've got to expect little niggles and they'll be patched. I mean, they spent last night to this morning working on the patch, and it's been sent into Giants already for the multiplayer issue and the pigs and horse issue. So as you come over, we have quite a lot of fields. They're all decent size. The bit of steep hill work there, so you need a wee bit of horsepower. And then you have the first forestry area with lots of trees, which I'm sure when we get going on multiplayer, I'm sure Scotty will have those all flattened and replanted pretty quickly. So as we come down the other side of the map, you have the BGA, and I think, is there a bale sell point here? Yep, there's a bale sell point there. Even says it on the wall, bale sell point, and the BGA, which again can be sold. So if you wished, you could replace it with, say, Disturbed's Industrial BGA or Pumps and Hoses BGA, whichever one you fancied. So a few more sort of small village houses in the area. There's a train track that runs through. Now I don't think you can use the train like you can on Elm Creek, but it's a nice touch having the train going through and you come round underneath the tunnel. I'm sure there's another tunnel up there somewhere that on 19 I was quite good at rolling the bale trailer. So then we head down into the corner, a few more big fields. Some of the fields take a little bit of time for you to figure out how to get into them. There you've got a ford to cross. But it's all the joys of exploring the map. It's was originally a map on FS15, I think, DF, that was brought forward onto 17 and then converted into what's called Purbeck Valley on 19, and then again MS Modding has got permission to convert it and bring it out on 22, which I think he's done a great job of. Yes, as we've said, there are a few niggles, but it will be sorted soon, hopefully. So you have sort of the more town area, you have nice church there, which I'm sure you can hear the bell ringing at different times of the day. And then you have a few more trees and things, and then you come into the sort of industrial area where you have your oil mill, your grain sell points, a few bits and pieces. And then just above that you have the stables. So on Farm Manager and whatnot, unfortunately these disappear at the moment, but it has been fixed and we just need to wait for Giants to let it drop. But nice setup for the stables, not something I've done, so looking forward to giving them a go. Looks very professional looking stables. And then you have the shop on this side of the road, which is a Claas dealership if I remember correctly. Yep. So Farm Agri Services Limited. And then you move up to the sort of arable yard as such. It has drop down, some crop storage sheds. So you could individual root crops, you can have beets and potatoes and any grains and stuff in those sheds. Then you have this other green shed here. So although there's not a silo at this one, there is plenty of space to store machinery, grain. Bits and pieces. So again, another nice yard. Again, you can sell the farmhouse up at the main farm and you can place down the doormat mod, one of Alien Jim's house mods, or anything. You can have your house anywhere, any of the buildings. So great for role play if you want to be in the village and be in a farm hand like Scruff does for George. I wonder if they're going to have a look at Purbeck for their move. What do you guys think? Or has he definitely got his heart set on Court Farms? So yeah, a few more fields in the corner, another slightly smaller wooded area than what's up the top. The only reason you didn't get this one, Scott, is just because we wanted you to drive across the map when we go, because the carpentry is here. There's no sawmill on the map, so it's just a carpentry. And nice decoration round about it. Not much space if you wanted to put a sawmill in here, but we'll get to. There is a placeable area which we will get to. Again, more houses and traffic. Now we have another. Oh, this is the animal dealer. So you have your livestock auctioneers. So that's quite central in the map. Another sell point at what I think is a pub here, if I remember correctly. The Fisherman. So the grain sell points on this side, and if you fancy a pint, you jump in. Yeah, I think George has his heart set on Court Farms, Andrew. But you never know. He liked the Bally Springs too. We're not that evil Scottish, we just get you to make it and we spend it. So the stables. So here we are at the pig farm, which is just above the stables. Again, a few bits of storage sheds, a silage bunker, and then the actual pig shed itself. So you can have up to 300 pigs. And they have quite a decent sized area to run around in, with the outside styes and the inside shed with your feed and water trigger, etc. all in there. I didn't let the secret out. Everybody knows. He makes the money, I spend it. So there you have, well, I'll call it Purbeck Castle. I'm sure probably has a different name in real life for the area that it's set in. I did see Mr. Sealy P, who'd got his contract back earlier on, had a quick look at his, and he seems to know the area, so did name the castle and the signs and things and whatnot, but it's not an area I know, so... Again, another small village there. As you can see, lots of little tracks in between fields, a little pond. And then you have some more sell points up in this corner. So you've got Hull Valley Farmers. I think it's Mole Valley, I think is what's called in here. Yes, save away. Mole Valley, yep. So you've got your sell point there. So you do have space for small sell point here, like if you use the milk bottle mod, any mods, you could squeeze it in there because you've got plenty of space to get in, around and reverse and use the sell points. There's lots of little houses with a small yard and small sheds dotted about that you could again roleplay, build your own farm in that area. So that takes us back up here. We shall go to, there it is, right pretty much bang in the middle of the map. You can see a concrete area over there, so that's your main placeable area, which is quite generous. You can get quite a lot on that. Now I use the dragons, I can't remember what it's called, it's the DD production, and it comes with the butchers and things, and now the butchers is quite big and you could fit probably 3 of them in there, but you have more than enough space for your base game productions there, any of your bits and pieces. You could build your own farm there, whatever you fancied. It is a nice little area. There is lots of little bits and pieces, like back at the main farm. If we tap back there, there is some ground here, so you could do what you wished here. You could put in some open grazing from the Fenceless Husbandry's pack or anything like that. You could have more trees, place down any placeables. It's nice big grass fields, and yep, just a very nice looking map. Very British style. Very much up my street, and will definitely be on the my multiplayer server, so expect to see more of it on the channel as we're going. Now there we have the signposts. Now, Sealy P was saying that this morning that because they're obviously generic signposts, they're all the same, they all point the same way, but actually I think Swanage is one way and Wayrham's the other, but it just adds a nice touch. It's the sort of thing you expect from a decent modder. Just little details definitely make the map. Is there anything else I've missed? That's the sheep and chickens. I said there's lots of little bits you could do for your roleplay if that's what you fancy, or farm blogs. But yeah, it's looks good, and I really look forward to playing it. I did have a play about yesterday on the single player, and I had played about on the single player before on the beta version. So yeah, looking forward to it. I don't think I've missed anything out. Just quickly going around. As you can see everywhere, there's just a little house or a house dotted there. Another one there. Just has a little yard, so you could have a small holding. You could have that house by that field and have a few sheep in it. When it comes to field prices, we have, let's say, they come in blocks in general, so it's about 300,000 for those two. That small one, 180 odd. So in general, you're getting a block of land, so you might get 2 or 3 decent sized fields for your price as opposed to one. You may get one if it's a bigger field. Yeah, that's right, Shot. If you try and sell the production, there's bits, delete them. Some of them do tend to try and stay, so yeah, you just have to be careful with editing the map unless you're going to do it in Giants Editor. I mean, it's not, to me, there's nothing on the map that needs changing. There's enough space in there for any productions and that I'm going to want, and enough space around the BGA and other bits and pieces to add in sell points. The roads, we shall jump in a tractor and we shall show you the roads, DF. So up round the farm, a lot of the roads they're not overly narrow. You can get a combine round here, no problem, with a header trailer on. And as I said, there's no collision on the hedges, so you're not going to really get stuck unless you hit a gate. So there's enough space there. You could, if you wish to play with really large machinery, you'll get it round the map. Might be a bit tight through some gates and through the yards, but yeah, they're not. It's not too bad. And then once we get down to the sort of main road is quite wide. But yeah, no, there's no hedge collisions. Just the way it's been done. Some people like hedge collisions, some don't. It would be nice to possibly have the hedges similar to Ballysprings, Cavalier, Roy, that sort of thing, where you can go in and cut them down, but then that also then puts up your tree count because they're classed as trees, and it obviously just makes things a lot more difficult for the modder when most modders don't have collisions on their hedges. So there's like I said, there's another yard there. That's next to the sheep. So it just looks very British UK to me. Yep, this is the bridge. I always tip my bale trailer here. Again, another little bit of the yard there at the stables. Yeah, I think that's the thing. Some people are like playing super realistic, so they want collisions. But there's collisions on fences, there's collisions on walls. So if you wanted to, you could go and place a fence in the middle of the hedge, and then you would soon find collisions. I haven't actually seen if you could delete the fence. So yeah, there you go, DF. The main road through is typical. Main road, traffic doesn't slow down for nobody. So the roads in general are like that. There's a few dirt tracks around about that were extremely well textured, but were removed for the polys. We shall open the gates into the shop. Let's go and see if I can delete a fence. I don't think you can. I think I've possibly seen somebody asking in MS Discord yesterday about deleting fences, and I don't think you can, because they're not placeable. Yeah, let's find a field with a fence. There we go. There. Yeah, no, it doesn't look like it. I might be able to delete it from... Can you delete it from PC Dev? No. No, can't delete the fences. Yeah, fast traffic's definitely better than slow traffic until they hit you. So yeah, I think that's it. Just a quick map tour. That once, hopefully the update will be out quite quick, because it's not a huge update. It's just a few little niggly fixes, and everybody can then get onto their servers and playing how they want to play without the issues. But yeah, no, you can, as you can see, it's a very nice looking map. All different shapes of fields. Keeps you entertained. And I definitely look forward to playing on this. And as I said, I will hopefully be making more content, especially on the multiplayer server. There's a few more live streams and things. But we shall call this a nice short stream here, just to give a map tour, and thanks for joining in. Please don't forget to give us a like, and if you haven't subscribed, please hit that button. And I shall catch you all very soon. And I hope you enjoy playing Purbeck, and a big thank you to MS Modding for getting it onto ModHub. We shall see you all soon. Goodbye now.